Welcome to another episode in my continuing modern email security series. Today, we're going to be talking about phishing, a security topic that's most commonly associated with email security. And joining me to help us explore this topic today is Patrick Harr, CEO of SlashNext. Thanks for joining us today, Patrick.
Yeah, great to be here with you.
So phishing has grown to become one of the most successful strategies for adversaries to compromise an organization. In my email security research, we see that protecting against phishing-related attacks is a top priority for most security teams. So I thought we could start, Patrick, by having you talk about why phishing has been so successful for adversaries and why it gets used so widely as a tactic in so many different types of attacks.
Yeah, what's very interesting, when we think of phishing, we do commonly think of email, and we think of that bad language email attack, right? I would call that first generation attack. What's very unique today is much like we have available as any company out there, very low cost compute on public resources like AWS or Azure, together with dark web behavioral information like out of LinkedIn or again some open source information. And then you have AI models that the bad actors have available to them and automation. And with that, what we're seeing is a significant increase in the types and delivery mechanisms or channels that they're delivering these phishing attacks through. As an example, everyone probably got that SMS attack. Your FedEx package was left on the doorstep. So that's a type of a new attack that we are seeing. And it's no longer just an email attack. It's all these communication channels. And so I think what's fundamentally different today versus before is you now have just sheer speed, sheer delivery of these attacks across different channels, and you have different payload types. So it's not just credential stealing, it's rogueware. What I mean by that, these software extensions, or it could be a scareware tactic, or some social engineering type of attack.
We've talked about phishing so much in the email security space, and I think as security teams are thinking about phishing protection, they're thinking about, okay, what's built in to my email security solutions. And while email is often a mechanism that's used, the broader socially engineered attacks, as you point out here, are covering off a lot of different vectors that security teams maybe haven't been used to having security controls in place for before. So tell me just a little bit about how people think about this as a security control, whereas previously, well, maybe we were thinking about phishing, we were thinking about phishing and email, and therefore depending on mechanisms there to help out.
Yeah, so obviously this last year, the world got turned upside down, and everyone shifted to remote working, obviously talking in my son's bedroom right now. And with that, it's dramatically opened up the attack surface. So these different communication channels that I highlighted, mobile phone, SMS, it's not uncommon in our own workday, we go from corporate email to personal email over to SMS into LinkedIn Messenger, back to Facebook Messenger, back into Zoom. And if you think about that, those are just opportunities for the bad actors to quote fish you. So what we do very uniquely is we protect across these different communication channels. Anywhere someone can reach you with a message is where we're looking to try to diagnose, is it an attack? What type of attack is it? And then block that attack. And it's not just that credential steal. It is, I want to get you to download this new browser software from Google Play. Behind there is ransomware. Behind there is some malware. So it is a much broader attack vector and much broader attack surface and many more communication channels. And I think that's what the security professionals really have to pay attention to, is how do you protect against those?
This is a major shift in sort of the way to think about this threat vector. This is instead of sort of individual siloed phishing controls in email, on a mobile device, and other areas. So where does all this come together? How do security teams see and manage these types of attacks? Does it fit into their traditional security architectures, or do they need to do something fairly different?
I would say the new solutions have to be tuned to use AI to actually do discovery of these type of attacks, because it's very, very difficult with discernible naked eye to say, is this an attack or not? It's not uncommon when we plug into an O365 environment, we will see many different attacks that those what I would call those first generation tools do not prevent or detect or prevent. But second, I think you have to look at how do you protect that mobile device. SMS is perhaps a more trusted communication channel today than even email. So what we do is we put a mobile app on that device where we have the ability to detect and block those attacks coming in. Third, you do need to look at these other channels of communication. Again, Zoom, these social channels, and recognize, since we're outside the perimeter, how do you protect against those type of attacks? Now, again, we uniquely do that with the mobile app. We also have browser extensions that plug right into PC, Macs, Linux, Chrome OS, give you that real-time protection across those communication channels and across all these different payloads. You have to be on device to detect and block these attacks, because you have end-to-end encryption. You have Signal, you have WhatsApp, you've got all these end-to-end encryption pieces. So you think about it, I have to be on that device to actually see that attack, read that attack, and then make the discernible information. Do I block it or not? I don't think you're gonna be able to do that in the network anymore, because everyone's outside that perimeter. And again, you're going to have to see these live attacks when they occur.
As people think about SlashNext, do people think about this is truly a net new ad, or does SlashNet replace anything else in the security stack?
We are very complementary to current email security. We'll plug right in on top of that and give you the ability to discover things. In fact, there was a third-party study that showed we detected about 99% of these attacks, where those traditional providers did about 50%, including Microsoft. Microsoft's about 30%. So we're complementary to the security solutions. But where we are really adding is that added layer of protection across, again, the mobile device, those different communication channels. So you want to really look at the, not only, again, where are these payloads or these attacks coming from across these communication channels, but also the type of attacks. And do you have the ability to prevent them before they really take hold and do damage to that particular environment?
Great insights. Patrick Harr, CEO of SlashNext, thank you so much for joining us today, and hope this was helpful in providing some additional insights in phishing.